morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do this, guys. Let's kick this can right now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our show tonight, guys. I notice we have someone from Costa Rica here. I want to welcome them here. I don't think I've seen them on here on our chat before. We want to welcome them. And guess what? You guys in Costa Rica got hit with a bunch of minor and moderate earthquakes, and you need to be aware of it. Actually, not even minor, but small, 3.0, 3.9, and moderate 4.0 to 4.8 earthquakes in Costa Rica today, as well as over in El Salvador, Nicaragua area, and over off in Guatemala as well. And over in southern Mexico, guys, from the northern Guatemala border all the way to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, that area's got hit by 67 earthquakes today. All kinds of earthquakes, guys. You guys need to be aware of it. The Cocos Plate and the San Andreas Fault are alive and well. You're going to have some major earthquakes there, I guarantee it. I completely guarantee you're going to have some large 5.0, 5.9, even upwards of 7.2 to 7.3 earthquakes in Central America and southern Mexico. It's coming. Get prepared. You guys that live in that part of the hemisphere, get prepared. The earthquakes are incoming. I promise you that. Now, besides that, let's go down to the southern Pacific Ocean. Okay? I'm going to take down our EMA banner for a minute. I'm going to take down our EMA webcam here as well. Today, you see some earthquakes here in the Fiji Tonga region. In the Fiji Tonga region, guys, yes, we have some earthquakes here, but they're not all here. They're not all here. The reason I'm showing you this, guys, is stuff is happening here. Things are happening here. They're going to continue to happen here. I promise you that. They're going to continue to hit here. That's going to be over and over and over. Already in the last 48 hours here, between the Kermadec Islands here, which are part of the northern part of the New Zealand area here, going up here in the Tonga region, in the Samoa, the Fiji region, over here in the Vanuatu, the Legacy Islands, New Caledonia, and even over here in the Solomon Islands. This area of the Pacific has had 16 large earthquakes in the past 48 hours. 16 5.05.7 earthquakes in the last 48 hours. This means there's going to be another increase in earthquakes here. You can see more and more earthquakes here, not just large 5.05.9, but you're going to see all kinds of moderate 4.0 to 4.9 earthquakes as well. This area is hot right now. It's very hot. Let's talk about it for a minute. Let's tell you what's going on. 16 5.0 large earthquakes in the past 48 hours through Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, and even New Caledonia region. This is an obvious increase in seismic energy. And what's happening? There's also volcanic energy beneath the plate, beneath the southern plate here, okay? Increase in volcanic energy here. Sulfur dioxide is pushing up the plate. Sulfur dioxide here is pushing up the plate, guys, causing some of these earthquakes. Magma is pushing up. There's an increase in magma flow here, okay? We're also seeing a sea surface temperature increase as well. Sea surface anomalies are happening, and they're going to continue to increase. All this is combined. We're going to contribute to severe climatic events and other catastrophic conditions as well. Already, you've also heard, and you might have seen, a super El Nino effect that's happening right now that is expected to break all records since they were recorded. And it's only just getting started. What they say is about to happen in the future is in fact happening right now. Look at the Pacific storm systems that are already developed so far. We've had 5 Pacific storm systems. That includes the typhoons and the other 3 hurricanes that are up in the Pacific off the coast of Mexico, going up into California as well. We may see some hurricane activity up towards Southern California. I think what it's going to be is tropical storms, not necessarily hurricanes. We've seen tropical storms in Southern California before. We're going to see it again. Okay? We've seen it already. Okay? We've seen Category 5 storms over in the Atlantic Ocean. We may see a Category 1 or 2 hurricane here off the coast of Mexico within the next few days. Okay? In the last 3,650-year cycle, there are 4 major volcanic eruptions all within the year 1628. 4 major volcanic eruptions in the year 1628. Those volcanic eruptions accounted only for 42% of sulfur dioxide found in ice core samples. Okay? Are we beginning to see what the other 58% originated from? Possibly. Possibly. Okay, I'm just putting that out there for everybody's knowledge. Just putting that out there for everybody's knowledge. It's important to understand what's going on here. Increase in seismic activity here in the southern Pacific Ocean. We've seen earthquakes hitting as well over here in Australia. Today over here in Papua New Guinea here, we have another 5.3 earthquake here. Papua, Indonesia, we have a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. Going further to the west here, Fafak, Indonesia, 4.3 moderate earthquake here. Further over here, Ambon, Indonesia. We've seen many earthquakes here in Ambon, Indonesia area in the Banda Sea here. Today we have a 4.5 moderate earthquake here. Going up towards the north here. Look at this, guys. In the Mariana Trench. Micronesia. This came out as a 6.1 earthquake earlier today. This is now a 5.9. A very large 5.9 earthquake here in Colonia, Micronesia today. 247 kilometers north-northeast of Colonia, Micronesia. Okay? In the southern Pacific Ocean. The southeastern Pacific Ocean, guys. Earthquakes are continuing to happen here. Why does it happen? Why do you think it happens? Okay? As I have explained before, we go over here to the southern Pacific Ocean, way down here in the south. Earthquakes originate from a deep magma channel down here. Earthquakes originate from the deep South Pacific, and they go all over the planet. We also have a deep magma plume originating from the mantle here that supplies magma to all the volcanoes around the world. This deep magma plume supplies volcanoes all around the world with magma, including Hawaii, Alaska, South America, going over in Europe. Yes, Europe. Why Europe? Over off the southern coast of Italy and north of Sicily. We have two active volcanoes there, Mount Etna and Mount Stromboli. Both of those volcanoes have been erupting. Okay, can't forget that. We've also had a volcano over in France that's been going off and on. We've had a volcano over in Africa as well that's been going off and on. We've had a volcano over in the South Antarctic area that's also been going on as well. Volcanoes around the world, guys. Volcanoes around the world. Did you know, guys, we have 12 volcanoes over here in Indonesia alone? In Indonesia alone. 12 volcanoes. We have several volcanoes over here in Japan. Several volcanoes over here in Japan. Okay? Everywhere there's volcanoes. Okay? We talked about earthquakes over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, where today we just see a brand new earthquake here. It just happened. This is a large 5.1 large earthquake here. This is 67 kilometers east of Petropavlovsk, Kamchatka, Russia. Off the coast here. Large 5.1 earthquake. But guys, have we also talked about volcanoes over here on Kamchatka Peninsula? There are 6 volcanoes here. 6 of them. One of them right here erupted this past week, and it's still erupting, throwing lava down the western side of this volcano, Shibuya volcano. Kleochevskoy and the Semeni, and I think there's one other volcano also erupting right now over here in Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay? We talked about this earlier this week. Okay? Volcanoes. Okay? We have all kinds of volcanoes over here in Alaska. Fortunately, none of those volcanoes are presently erupting or even showing signs of a possible near eruption here. None of them so far. Now, over here in Alaska, you see a red earthquake here. Red earthquakes, these red circles determine that these earthquakes just happened. This is a 2.3 earthquake here near Meadow Lakes, Alaska. 4 miles north of Meadow Lakes, Alaska here. 2.3 minor earthquake here. They're happening. Earthquakes are happening around the world. In fact, for the south here, I just saw this. This is a microquake east of Port Ellsworth, Alaska. East of Port Ellsworth, Alaska here. Not a big deal. But guess what? This is also near Mount Redoubt volcano. Mount Redoubt volcano has earthquakes, guys. It's an active volcano. It has erupted in the past. It's going to happen again. This is 0.5 microquake. This is a 0.4 microquake. This is a 1.5 tremor here. Mount Redoubt volcano. Okay? They happen. There are 60 volcanoes over here in Alaska, 60 of them. Yes, we're going to see some more eruptions here, probably in Alaska this year. Okay? Down here in the Alaska Peninsula, we have volcanoes as well. Down here in the Aleutian Islands, we have volcanoes as well. They happen. They happen. Okay? Now, I was going to talk about what's happening up here in the Pacific Northwest. However, a little bird told me this morning, we have an increase in seismic energy in California. That's why I'm going to talk about California in a minute. They're happening. Yes, there's been an increase in Washington and Oregon as well. That's granted. Earthquakes are happening all over the Pacific Northwest. We know that the Cascade earthquake is coming. It's coming, guys. You need to be prepared for it. Next week, we're going to spend a good amount of time talking about earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest. Okay? Going down into California. California, guys. Right here. A brand new earthquake here. Northern California. Southwest of the geysers facility. Southwest of the geothermal facility here in Sonoma County. This is a 1.3 tremor here near Cloverdale, California. 4 miles east-southeast of Cloverdale, California. The geysers facility is always going off. Why? Because men have drilled into the Clear Lake volcano here, the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano, to obtain steam to power turbines over here in Sonoma County, California, in the geysers facility. The geyser geothermal facility here. Down here, we have a 0.3 microquake in the geysers facility here. Why? Why? Because, guys, what happens here? What happens here? Right here. See where it says Kincaid here? Right here's a digital footprint. Okay? This is the location where men drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano here. And from this footprint here, they have PVC pipe carrying steam from the volcano down to this turbine facility here. The PVC pipe goes and follows the roadways down to the nearest turbine facility here, where the steam is cleaned up and pumped into the turbines here, generating electricity for Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, Rocky Mountain Power supplies power to Utah, and at least one other energy conglomerate here in Southern California. Okay? That's what happens here. That's exactly what happens here. Guys, we typically see anywhere from 20 to 50 earthquakes here every day here in the geysers facility. I think today we're seeing less than 20 earthquakes here in the geysers facility. They happen. They happen. Going down here into California. We know we have earthquakes here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but they're not showing them. Again, why are they doing that? They want to make us think that nothing's going on here. They want plausible deniability that nothing's going on. We know full well that the San Andreas Fault, the Hayward, and the Calaveras Fault are locked and loaded here. Locked and loaded. At any one point in time here around the San Francisco Bay Area, we could have a major earthquake. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. Way down south here, east of Monterey Bay here, on the Hayward Fault, we have another earthquake here, a 2.8 minor earthquake here near Gilroy, California. Every day here, guys, we have earthquakes near Gilroy, California, and today's just another day for it. This is a minor 2.8 earthquake here. Over here at the Calaveras, they're not showing any earthquakes, but guess what there are? There are always earthquakes here along the fault lines. Don't let them even persuade you that nothing's going on. There are things going on. Now, over here on the San Andreas Fault, the San Andreas Fault starts up here in the Northern California region, right up here off the coast, Northern California. This is the Triple Junction area, with the Cascadia subduction zone that comes out of southern Canada here, southern British Columbia here, starts up here just south of Haida Gwaii here, Haida Gwaii Island, British Columbia here, starts off the southern coast here, goes off the west coast of British Columbia, Canada, off the coast of Washington, Oregon, right here between Vancouver, British Columbia, Washington here. We're going to have a 9.0, 10.0 Cascadia earthquake. It's going to happen. This Cascadia subduction zone and the subduction area further to the west called the Juan de Fuca Plate. The Juan de Fuca Plate. This zigzag plate here. Both of these fault zones can carry Cascadia energy all the way down south here, to the San Andreas Fault right here. Okay? The Gorda Escarpment carries energy away from California here, and we have energy coming out of the Juan de Fuca Fault way up here, comes down here to what they call the Blanca Fracture Zone, runs from the northwest to the southeast here, that connects with the Gorda Plate, the Gorda Ridge here. The Gorda Ridge is this perpendicular earthquake fault running south down here to the Gorda Escarpment. The Gorda Escarpment goes over here towards the California coast, connecting with the Cascadia subduction zone and the San Andreas Fault. Back in 2019, December 23rd, 2019, the Portland professor of geology, Chris Goldfinger, had a convention in San Francisco, December 23rd, 2019, where he met with scientists and geologists here from all over California and Oregon and Washington, and talked to them about the Cascadia Fault Zone triggering the San Andreas Fault. Triggering the San Andreas Fault, it's going to happen. When the Cascadia earthquake happens up north, that energy is going to be triggered all the way down to Southern California and possibly even northern Mexico. It's going to be echoed down the fault line. When it gets here to San Francisco Bay Area, we're going to see 8.0, 8.5 energy here. Bay Area is going to get destroyed. Now here's where the San Andreas Fault starts going inland here. Starts going inland following the coastline. Then goes further inland over here to the eastern Los Angeles area. Then it goes south here through Southern California, down here east of the Salton Sea here, and then cutting through the Imperial Valley here, going all the way down through northern Mexico here, down here through the Gulf of California here. You see it here, the San Andreas Fault, going out the Gulf of California here, into the Pacific Ocean here, guys. Out here in the Pacific Ocean here. Then the San Andreas Fault goes over here into offshore from southern Mexico. Okay? When we've had major earthquakes here in southern Mexico before, we've seen the larger major earthquakes echoed off the San Andreas Fault way down here, and we've actually had 7.0 activity in Big Lake, California, after we had a 7.0 earthquake here in southern Mexico. 24 hours later, we had a 7.0 earthquake in Big Lake, California. I forecast that earthquake, and it happened. It happened.
Location, near east coast of Kamchatka, class, light, magnitude, 4.9, 12 minutes ago.
4.9, 5.0 earthquake just happened off the Kamchatka Peninsula just a few minutes ago. You heard it live here in the air. Down here, USGS only shows us 3 earthquakes here. That's a false activity. That's false activity. Yes, we had a large earthquake here in southern Guatemala. This did happen. A 5.0 earthquake happened here. 8 kilometers west-northwest of La Democracia, Guatemala. People got hit here, guys. People got hit here. These small towns and villages here in Guatemala got hit. Large seismic energy hit here. Some lives are going to be destroyed today because of this earthquake here. Property's been destroyed. Lives have been interrupted and destroyed as well. That's what happens when we have a large 5.0 earthquake. And this earthquake happened on the west side of the mountain range here. On the west side of the mountain range here. All throughout this area. All throughout this area. We're only seeing 2 earthquakes here off the coast of southern Mexico. 5.0 earthquake here and a 4.5 earthquake here. That's all. A 5.0 earthquake here and a 4.5 earthquake here. When I tell you there's a lot more earthquakes than that, you need to believe it. I can show it to you on the European map. I showed it to you before. These earthquakes are happening. These earthquakes are happening. Now, I'm going to take down the USGS map. And I'm going to bring up our webcam again here. I want to talk about some other things that are happening. One of the reasons we're seeing earthquakes as we are now is because we've had a lot of solar activity. A lot of solar activity. In fact, let me show you something, guys. Let me show you something. I don't think many of you know this, unless you're friends with my buddy Mark Wages, and he puts on a program called Wages World. Wages World. He's been putting on programs almost every night this week. Almost every night this week. Last night and the night before, he came on the air. He talked about events that have happened. Let's talk about this for just a minute. You're going to want to know about this. You're going to want to know about this. The sun erupted, guys. We had multiple solar flares, multiple coronal mass ejections. Those coronal mass ejections are headed for the Earth. They're going to start hitting the Earth tonight and tomorrow. That plasma energy is going to hit the Earth tonight and tomorrow. We're going to see more and more earthquakes. More and more earthquakes. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's more. Okay? Now, you see this slide here? A fireball warning. A fireball warning. Okay? We've got an errant comet coming in. You have an errant comet coming in. Depending on where it enters the Earth's atmosphere, we're going to see a fireball. We don't know whether it's going to hit land, probably not. Most of the Earth is ocean. Most of these fireballs hit the ocean, and that's it. That's what we hope happens. Go over to Mark Wages World after this program is over and find out more about this. We have a link to Wages World on our program description directly beneath this video today. In the middle of our program description, you'll see a link to Wages World. After this program is over, go over there and watch it. You'll be very surprised. You'll be very surprised. My buddy Mark Wages is on the ball. He's very on the ball, guys. You get a lot out of his programs. Visit his web channel and follow him on Wages World. Get all sorts of information from him. These sunspots that erupt throw plasma radiation out in space. Within 24 hours, you usually see X-ray radiation hitting the Earth, causing radio blackouts. These blackouts have happened all the time. Those radio blackouts affect ham radio operations. They affect police, fire, and medical radios as well. High-frequency radio operations. There have been radio blackouts around the world, especially Earth facing the sun during these coronal mass ejections. Within 24 hours, those X-ray radiations hit the Earth. Then, within 72 hours, sometimes as little as 48 hours, we start seeing this plasma radiation hitting the Earth. That plasma radiation, guys, hits the upper atmosphere of the Earth. As it enters the atmosphere, it heats up the atmosphere. When the plasma radiation hits the surface of the Earth, it heats up the surface of the Earth, heats up the crust. What happens then? Let me briefly explain this. Then we're going to talk about earthquakes in California. When that plasma radiation hits the Earth here, hits across the Earth we walk on, all the tectonic plates heat up. All the different earthquake faults around the world heat up. Why? The plasma radiation is heat. When those faults and tectonic plates heat up, all the biological material, all the sand, the dirt, the gravel, the rock heats up. And that gravel and rock and sand and everything holds those plates, and holds those faults in place. When this plasma radiation heats it up, all that stuff turns into oily, greasy-like substance, allowing the faults more freely move like this, allowing the plates more freely move like this. That's what we see happening. That's when we see more earthquakes. That's when we see more tectonic plate movement. That's why we're seeing the 7.0, 7.5 earthquakes around the globe. That's why we're seeing the 6.0 earthquakes as well. Tectonic plate movement and fault movement as well. Okay, remember that. All the dirt and grime and gunk, the sand and gravel holds those plates in place, as well as all that biological material. When it heats up, either through planetary elements that send out electromagnetic radiation that heats up the Earth and does the same thing, all that gunk and grime and stuff turning into an oily, greasy-like substance allows the faults to more freely move, allows the plates more freely move like this as well. We've already seen a cascade of earthquakes. These earthquakes are going to continue through this weekend. At least increase in earthquakes this weekend. Now, I've got more information as well for you. Look out, guys. You're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to see this as well. Prior to us talking about those earthquakes, however, I want to talk about this. Okay? This happened in Minnesota. It's not the first time that hackers have gotten into our water systems. This came out of CBS News today. Okay? Hackers hacked in to attack water systems in 30 different communities in Minnesota. The attacks began on July 26th and July 27th, according to Minnesota IT service professionals, which said investigators have detected unauthorized access with malicious intent. The systems targeted included technology used to operate wells, to operate water treatment facilities, water towers, and wastewater lift stations. In Brom, Minnesota, Braham, Minnesota, the attack briefly shut down the computerized controls of a well and a water treatment plant. Public work employees restored the facility within 2 hours. Officials said there was no physical damage or effect on water quality. Other affected communities include Plymouth, South St. Paul, and Maple Plain. So far, no Minnesota city has asked residents to stop drinking tap water or change how they use it. That means there's currently no indication, none at all, no indication that the water itself is contaminated. I want to emphasize this. So far, they've not seen any water contamination at all from this hack. No indication at all that the water system has been contaminated at all. But this incident exposes one more time, a growing vulnerability of our water utilities. Okay, a growing vulnerability of water utilities. These water utilities increasingly depend on internet-connected industrial controls to operate pumps, to manage chemical treatment, and maintain water pressure. If attackers gain access to these systems, they may be able to interrupt water service, damage equipment, or even alter critical processes. The identity of the attackers remains unknown. Minnesota state officials said that timing, the access methods, and infrastructure targeted resemble other coordinated attacks observed by federal partners. But no formal attribution has been made. Minnesota has actively gone after cybersecurity experts. Minnesota's activated cybersecurity response resources as working with local utilities, federal agencies, and the FBI to investigate these attacks and restore operations and strengthen our water defenses. The drinking water has remained safe, but this attack is again unsettling. This is not the first time it's happened in Minnesota or anywhere else. It's happened before. We need to be very much aware of what's going on around us. I've always said to keep your heads on a swivel. Keep your heads on a swivel, guys. This is not normal, nor should it be. But again, this happened in Minnesota with 30 different targets here. 30 different drinking water systems were hacked into in just 48 hours time period. It could happen again. It could happen again. Just to be aware of it. Now let's talk about earthquakes, guys. Let's talk about earthquakes, okay? This is Southern California. From now on, tonight, I'm going to talk about earthquakes in Southern California, okay? I want you to all be aware of what we're talking about, okay? This is San Bernardino, California, out in the desert. This is the San Andreas Fault here. What we're seeing here in San Bernardino, Bakersfield area, is the San Andreas Fault here. Here you see a lot of tremors here. The top line here is 5 a.m. this morning. Top black line here on the left-hand side is 5 a.m. Each line is about 20 minutes long here. Each line is 20 minutes long. Okay? At the beginning here, the first hour or so, all we're seeing here are tremors. 1.0, 1.3, 1.4 tremors. That's all. But then, after approximately 6:21 a.m. this morning, on this red line, the second red line from the top, on the left-hand side center, that is a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here. It's going to get larger than that, as you can see. Okay? On the next black line over on the far left. Okay? This would be 7:13 a.m. this morning. Now we're talking about 2.0 to to 2.5 magnitude earthquakes, minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5 minor earthquakes here in Bakersfield, California. All throughout the rest of this seismic, we're seeing increased seismic activity here. Increased tremors or increased minor earthquakes here. You can see it here on the seismogram. The seismogram are computer readouts from the seismograph machines. That's how they come about these seismograms. These images are computer readouts from the seismograph machines that look at these earthquakes. Okay? Now, let's look at the desert in Idlewild next. Idlewild. Okay? Now we're looking at western San Bernardino Mountains. Okay? Idlewild, guys. There's a town called Idlewild, guys. I've been there. During the wintertime, it's a ski resort town. Okay? They don't have any specific trails or anything like that. It's not a resort area, but people like to go skiing down the hillsides. Okay? All you've seen here are tremor activity. This is all tremor activity. Yes, there's some microquake activity here at the beginning here this morning, early this morning. But after about 5:15 this morning, all it is tremor activity. 1.0 to 1.5 tremor activity. 1.0, 1.5 tremors here. Idlewild, California. Okay, let's go further. Let's look at Joshua Tree National Monument, again out in the desert, the San Andreas Fault here. These are just tiny tremors here. 1.0 to 1.3 tremors here. That's it. Joshua Tree National Monument. Going over to Lancaster, California. Now we're seeing 1.5 to 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. Okay? Not quite minor earthquakes, but 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. Down here later this morning, early afternoon. Over here on this bottom blue line, left-hand side, that's 12:31 p.m. this afternoon. 1.5, 1.6 tremor there. After 12:40, almost 12:47 this afternoon, we had a 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremor here this afternoon. Okay? Lancaster Airport. It's called Fox Airport out there, by the way. Let's go over Rancho Mirage, also the San Andreas Fault here. Look at this. This is increased over the past 48 hours. This is a seismic increase here in Rancho Mirage today. Again, we're seeing just tiny tremors, 1.0 to 1.5 tremors here. But you definitely see an increase here over last week and even over yesterday. Okay, let's continue here. Now, I have a dear friend here, one of our own EMA family members, Isaiah's granny here, lives in Victorville, California, right on top of the San Andreas Fault here. Right on top of the San Andreas Fault. The top black line again here on the left-hand side is 5 a.m. We go over to the next blue line here. The blue line on the left-hand side is 5:30 a.m. Over here towards the right-hand side, now we're talking about 5:42 a.m. this morning. We had a 3.0 small earthquake here in Victorville, California. 3.0 earthquake here in Victorville, California. Isaiah's granny felt this. Her and her family felt it. 3.0 and larger earthquakes people feel. Below that, 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes. And when we get to maybe 2.7, 2.8, only very, very sensitive people can feel these. But 3.0 larger, people feel these earthquakes. Isaiah's granny and her family felt this. Okay? Now, the next biggest earthquake after that is after 12 noon today. Over here on the right-hand side, on the second black line from the bottom on the right-hand side, this earthquake is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. It happened at 12:14 p.m. this afternoon. 12:14 p.m. this afternoon, a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Minor earthquake. All the rest of these are tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Victorville, California. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not kidding here at all. Now, I want to take you over to Los Angeles now. I want to take you over to LA. Earlier this week, I told you about earthquakes in Los Angeles at the Baldwin Hills. The Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Hills used to be a forested area in the northwestern part of Los Angeles. Back in the 40s, maybe even the late 30s, the authorities in Los Angeles bulldozed those hills down to be flat hills. Flat hills. They're still called the Baldwin Hills, but now there's oil refineries there. Great big huge pumps and jacks pumping oil and gas out of the ground from Los Angeles, the Baldwin Hills. Here we're seeing a seismogram reading from the Baldwin Hills. All we see here are tremors. This is very typically what we see in the Baldwin Hills. However, we have seen some minor earthquakes here before. But today, all we've seen are tremors here in the Baldwin Hills in Los Angeles. Okay? That's typical. Very typical. But that's all, folks. There's more. Let's go over to the eastern side of Los Angeles. Chino, California. Chino, California, guys. Yes, here we're seeing a lot of tremors here. Lots and lots of tremors. But guys, I believe we've also seen some 2.0 earthquakes here today as well. I believe we've seen some 2.0 earthquakes here as well. Chino, California. There's going to be a lot more of them. A lot more of them. Last year at this time, we saw a ton of tremors here and minor earthquakes. Today, yes, we're seeing tremors here, but I think we're also seeing a couple 2.0, 2.1 minor earthquakes here as well. We're going to see a lot more of them coming in the next little while. Okay? Let's go over north of Los Angeles. There's a town north of Los Angeles called Del Amo. Del Amo, guys. Look at this. Over the past month, Del Amo used to look like the Baldwin Hills or even Los Angeles City. Nothing but tremors. Look what's happened here. Guys, Del Amo here has had an earthquake increase here. All we are seeing here are tremors, however. All we are seeing here are tremors, guys. But guys, it's happening. It's happening. I guarantee you it's happening. Okay? Are you guys prepared to see what's happening yet? Are you guys prepared to see a huge increase in seismic activity here? If not, you should be. Get prepared for it, guys. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. Promise you that. It's going to happen. Get prepared. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. This is just part of it. This is Del Amo, a community just north of Los Angeles. How about Ellis, California? Look here at Ellis, guys. Here after about 6:35 this morning, We had some 3.0 earthquakes hit here, 3:35 this morning. I shouldn't say 6:45 this morning. 6:35, I'm sorry, 6:35 on this blue line. 3.0 earthquakes, you guys. 3.0 small earthquakes. This 3.0 sequence happened for over a minute, maybe a minute, 10 seconds. Ellis, California, guys. Yes, typically we see 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here. And yes, you can see plenty of tremors throughout this seismogram. But you're also seeing a lot of tremors here and minor earthquakes. Lots of tremors and minor earthquakes. This also is an increase in seismic activity here in Ellis, California. I'm not done. I'm not done. Now, yesterday, we talk a lot about Fontana, guys. We talk a lot about Fontana. Fontana's over near Rancho Cucamonga, that area. Guess what we had here yesterday? Yesterday evening. The top black line here is yesterday at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. yesterday evening. Go over here to the right. This is about 6:06, 6:07 last night. 3.0 earthquake here last night in Fontana. And throughout this seismogram, you see more tremors and minor earthquakes as well. All kinds of tremors and minor earthquakes, you guys. Fontana, California. Well, guess what happened this morning? Guess what happened this morning? Right here. Actually, this wasn't this morning. That was the night before last. I showed you Wednesday night there. This is last night. Last night. Just after 6:02 p.m., we had a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. Okay. Tuesday night, we had a 3.0 earthquake here. Now we're having a 2.6, 2.7 here. Another tremors and also minor earthquakes here as well here after 7 p.m. 1900 hours on the left-hand side of 7 p.m. Now notice in this seismogram, USGS and Caltech keep alternating between 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. on these seismograms, but in this case, I showed you Tuesday night on the last seismogram, and what's happening now is USGS is only showing us what they want to show us here. They cut it off after 7 p.m. Pacific time here. After 7 p.m. Pacific time here. They're not even showing us what's actually happening right now. Okay? They cut us off. They used to show us everything. Now they're only showing parts of it. But here in Fontana, typically, guys, every day, we have 2 to 3 3.0 earthquakes here in Fontana, California, every day. Every day. Monday through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Whether they cut it off or not is immaterial. It's happened in the past, it's going to happen now. Okay? Let's go over to Moore Park. Also, Moore Park is north of Los Angeles. Guess what happened here? Look at this, guys. Okay? Again, the top black line here is 5 a.m. in the morning on the left-hand side. The next red line here is 6 or 5:15. 5:18 this morning. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. Minor earthquakes, you guys. Yes, we're seeing tremors here and minor earthquakes here. All over here. But what happened after 12:15 this afternoon? The bottom red line over here on the left is 12:15 this afternoon. 12:18 this afternoon, we had a 3.0 earthquake here. Moore Park, California. Moore Park, California, guys. Moore Park has had many 3.0 earthquakes here before. We've even seen as much as 3 to 4 3.0 small earthquakes here every day. They've happened every day, guys. There's still a lot of earthquakes here. This still is a big earthquake increase here in Moore Park, California, just north of Los Angeles. Moore Park is a community of about 50, 60,000 people. 50, 60,000 people, guys. Okay? I'm not done yet. I'm not even close to being done. A few minutes ago, we had 42 people. Now we have 25 people watching it. Now, guys, I believe that's not just us here. I think there's more people watching, but YouTube doesn't want to see it. They want us to believe we've lost viewers here. I'm not done with earthquakes here. There are a lot more earthquakes here that they're not willing to talk about. They're happening. They're happening. Okay? Let's go over to the coastline. The southern coastline of Los Angeles. Let's go down here to Laguna Beach. Here at Laguna Beach, we typically see tremors. That's what we're seeing here today. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 tremors here. That's just about all here. Laguna Beach. Now, I want to go over here to Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. We're going to see earthquakes there as well. Mostly tremors there. Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. Right here. Again, this is North Coast area of Los Angeles. We have marinas there with great big huge yachts, small boats there as well. Always seen here along the coastline are tremors up and down the coastline of Los Angeles. But inland, we're seeing earthquakes as well. I've shown you those. Let me show you a lot more. We're not even close to being done here. Okay? Let's go over here to Long Beach. This Long Beach, guys. I showed you Long Beach last week. We had a decrease in seismic activity last week, but this week gets picked up. This week gets picked up. Yes, we may have seen some tremors here today, but all this activity here today in Long Beach, California, from 5 a.m. this morning until after 1:45 p.m., actually 12:45 p.m., where I pulled this seismic right here, 12:45 p.m. this afternoon, Pacific time here, we had 2.0 to 2.9. 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes here, nearly 3.0 activity. Why did I talk about 2.8, 2.9? Let's go over here to the bottom green line on the left-hand side. Just before, on the green line, just before 12:48 p.m. this afternoon, we had a 2.8, 2.9 at 12:47. 12:47 p.m. this afternoon, we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, nearly 3.0 here in Long Beach, California. No kidding. No kidding, guys. There's another seismic also here in Long Beach. Let me show it to you. Right here. Now, 5 a.m. is over on the top left side.
Chile, class, light, magnitude, 4.1, 4 minutes ago.
4.1 earthquake activity, northern Chile. 4.0 earthquake near Coquimbo, Chile, just a few minutes ago. Now, this earthquake, this seismic activity here, these moderate earthquakes here are showing just after 6 a.m. this morning. The first one hit 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes after 6:05 this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. The next one hit 2 minutes later, 2.5 minutes later. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Back to back there. Back to back. The rest of these are all tremors here. Long Beach, California, guys. 2 different seismographs reporting 2 different kinds of earthquakes. Okay? Good information nonetheless. Let's go to the North Los Angeles area to Los Alamitos. Los Alamitos, there's a horse track there. There's also seismograph recording earthquakes in Los Alamitos. Look what we're seeing here. Look at all these tremors here. All kinds of tremors here, guys. And just after 6:38 this afternoon, or this morning, 6:38 this morning, we have a 2.1 earthquake here on the blue line. Okay, a 2.1 earthquake this morning. They happen here. Even over here in North Los Angeles and Los Alamitos, at the horse track. Okay? Let's go over to downtown Los Angeles. Downtown Los Angeles at the Civic Center, the City County building. In the basement of the City County building, there's the Emergency Operations Center. Here in the Emergency Operations Center, they have a seismograph. Typically on the seismograph, we always see tremors, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. But look after 10 a.m. this morning, actually 9:45 a.m. this morning, 10 a.m. and 10:15 a.m. Okay, increase in tremor activity here. Definite increase in tremor activity here. Just before, just after 10 a.m. Okay. This is very typically what we see at the City County building. But again, I think what they've done here at the City County building, they've altered the information. Why do I say that? I've already shown you the earthquake activity north of Los Angeles. I've shown you Long Beach area. I'm going to show you Anaheim in just a minute. We have earthquakes there. Yet in downtown Los Angeles, they're not saying anything. Basically show us earthquakes is normal. Tremor activity. It's almost an impossibility. It's almost an impossibility here. Let's continue this talk here. Okay? I want to show you Pardee. Pardee is also north of Los Angeles. Look at this. After 5:04 this morning, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes here. About 4 minutes later, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Look at the tremor activity here. And my earthquake's hitting. Then after 6:30 this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6:35 this morning, 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here in Pardee, California. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here in Pardee, California this morning. You can see that. Okay? In this case, the seismic activity started off with just tremors just before 6 a.m. this morning. 6:02, 6:03, the tremors get larger. 6:04, they got even larger. 6:05, we had 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, then a 2.7, 2.8. Then came the 3.3, 3.5 activity here. This activity lasts about 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds. How do I know that? Look at the primary wave here. Look at the width of that primary wave. The width of the primary wave tells us this earthquake lasts about 5 or 10 seconds. Okay? Then diminished Yes, it did diminish to minor earthquakes, then right back up to 2.9, 3.0 after that, then about 45 seconds to a minute. It happens. It happens, guys. All the rest of this day, we had tremors and minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.7, 2.0 earthquakes here. Pardee, California. Literally all morning long. All morning long in Pardee, California. Like I said, there's been an increase in seismic activity here in Los Angeles and all over Southern California. Let me show you that. I'm going to continue showing you that. Okay? Rancho Palos Verdes. Rancho Palos Verdes. Always seen here tremor activity here. Even down here after 12:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m. this afternoon on the left-hand side of the green line. That's a 1.6, 1.7 tremor. Nothing larger than that today in Rancho Palos Verdes. However, I'm not done, guys. I'm not done. Rinaldi, also north of Los Angeles. Look at this. The top seismic signal here at 5 a.m. this morning, tremors. Tremors. But after 10 a.m. this morning, okay, about 10 a.m. this morning on the black line, we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake on the black line. Black line center here. Then after 12:15 this afternoon, actually on the black line after 12 p.m. this afternoon, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 12:05 this afternoon on the black line. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Then on the next red line, which is 12:15 on the left-hand side, over here, 12:23, 12:24 p.m. this afternoon on the red line, 3.0 earthquakes here. 3.0 earthquakes here, two of them. Then 2.5 minutes later, we have another 2.7, 2.8 earthquake again. On the next green line here, 12:45 on the left-hand side. You see a lot of tremors. You also see some 2.0 to 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes hitting here. On the next black line on the left-hand side is 1 p.m. All you see there are tremors. Rinaldi, California. Again, we're seeing 3.0 earthquakes here in Rinaldi. This also is an increase in earthquakes here. Increase in strength and also the number of earthquakes here in Rinaldi, California. I'm not done. Mariloma, East Los Angeles, Mariloma, just south of Loma Linda on the San Jacinto Fault. What are we seeing here? What are we seeing here, guys? All we see here in Mariloma are just tremors. This is an increase in tremors here in Mariloma. All kinds of tremors here. If you go over the USGS map, all they're showing are 1 or 2 tremors. They have a lot more tremors than that. Lots more than that. I showed you what was happening in Fontana. They're not even showing what's happening in Fontana today on the map. They never do. They would have us believe that nothing's happening on the map at all. Everything's quiet in Los Angeles. Everything's quiet all over Southern California. It's not true. Earthquakes are shaking Southern California up and down the Southern California coast. Everywhere. Literally everywhere, guys. Don't let them shake your belief that there's nothing going on, because there is. Okay? Now, let's go over Rio Hondo, also north of Los Angeles. Rio Hondo. Today in Rio Hondo, all we're seeing are tremors, which is typically for Rio Hondo. However, in the past, last year, for example, we had a bunch of tremors and minor earthquakes as well. Tremors and minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.9 earthquakes here in Rio Hondo. That's going to happen again very soon. Now, let's go to Santa Clara. Some of our EMA family members live in Santa Clara. Look at this, guys. Yes, Santa Clara, we have usually tiny tremors. Yes, we do see a bunch of tiny tremors here. But we have an increase in tremors here, just like we saw before. On one of the seismogram already today, this increase in tremor activity started at 6:45 this morning. Goes over here to 9 a.m. Actually, 8:45 is are not 6, but 8:45 to 9 a.m., 9:15, 9:30 to 9:45. Increase in tremor activity here, Santa Clara, California. Okay. All right, let's see here. Santa Monica. Santa Monica was either yesterday or the day before I showed you an airport in Santa Monica, California. Yes, north of Los Angeles Airport, but Santa Monica has its own municipal airport. Santa Monica Field here. Tremor activity in Santa Monica, guys. Very typically what we see in Santa Monica. Now, Santiago Peak. Just south of downtown Los Angeles. We have an area, what they call NorCal. Here at Santiago Peak, we have a bunch of radio and television stations on. They have repeaters, the radio and television repeaters on Santiago Peak here, as well as Mount Wilson and other areas. But here at Santiago Peak here, we're seeing tremors here. Not as many tremors as we've had in the past. We're still seeing tremors here in Santiago Peak. For those of you that are ham radio operators, CBU radio operators, you might also see radio repeaters for your radios here on top of Santiago Peak. Before I left Southern California, I lived in Poway, California, in North San Diego County. I repaired a radio repeater up here on Santiago Peak. I repaired radio repeaters up on mountaintops in San Diego, California as well. All over San Diego County. Poway had its own hillside. We had a radio repeater on top of a hillside in Poway. We had one on top of Lions Peak in San Diego. A couple other mountaintops in San Diego as well as Mount Helix. Okay? Here we're seeing tremors here. Santiago Peak. Now, Anaheim. Those of you that are interested in Anaheim, yes, we have Disneyland there. We have Knott's Berry Farm. Many other places here in Anaheim. Guess what we had here? Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes until 1:18 p.m. this afternoon. 1:18 p.m. this afternoon. We had a 3.3 earthquake here in Anaheim, California. That means Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm had to cease roller coaster operations and check the roller coaster tracks to make sure there's not damages to those roller coasters. 3.3 small earthquake in Anaheim, California. We've seen tremors, minor earthquakes here before. We've seen 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes in Anaheim before. Sometimes multiple small earthquakes here in Anaheim all day long. We've seen it happen all day long. For the most part, all you've seen are tremors and minor earthquakes, except that 3.3 earthquake this afternoon after 1:18 p.m. this afternoon. Anaheim, California. Let's continue here. I'm not done. I'm not done, guys. Let's go over to University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. Here we're seeing an increase in terminal activity here. Yes, terminal activity has increased here more than it was in the past. In the past, we might see 1.0 1.0 terminal activity. Now we're seeing 1.2, 1.3 terminal activity here. Yes, we've seen an increase in terminal activity here before. We're seeing an increase now. University of Southern California, Los Angeles. Now let's go over to East Los Angeles. Walnut, California, La Puente, California. What do we have here? With this, guys, I've shown you a lot of earthquake activity here at Walnut, La Puente before. Why do we have this? Why do we have this activity here, guys? Do you remember me telling you why this earthquake activity continues here? Let me briefly explain here. Out here in Walnut, La Puente, out here in Los Angeles, guys, there's a volcano there. There's a volcano over here in Los Angeles. Okay? Over hundreds of thousands of years, guys, glaciers and water and rainfall, snowfall. Yes, at one point in time we had snowfall here in Los Angeles. I don't think we have snowfall here in Los Angeles in the past, a little while anyway. We had mostly rain, but those craters here, and also not just craters, but they had volcanic rims there. Those volcanic rims and craters are worn down. They've worn down. All there is now is just plain ground. But below that ground, guys, there's a volcano there. There's a huge lava rock there. Huge lava rock covered by dirt. By dirt. On top of that dirt, guys, there's two very large cities there. Walnut and La Puente, side by side in the top of the volcano. At the top of the volcano, guys. Okay? That lava rock, that huge lava rock, is a lava plug. The plug of the volcano. Why are we seeing earthquakes there? Because there's magma, guys, magma down beneath the surface going up here and hitting that plug like this every day. Multiple times a day, just like this. That's why we're seeing earthquakes here. Multiple times a day, we're seeing magma coming from underneath, hitting that volcanic plug, causing these earthquakes. Now, guys, look what we're seeing here. Even as early as 5:15, actually 5:11 a.m. this morning, on the far right side red line here. 5:11 a.m. this morning. You see the top line? The top line's been cut off here. The top sequence of seismic activity has been cut off. The bottom's also been cut off. Guys, we've seen 3.3, 3.5 earthquakes hitting here before. We believe that's exactly what's going on here. They don't want to be honest with us about the strength of these earthquakes. They're not ever being honest with us about the strength of these earthquakes. Again, they don't want us to know what's happening. Plausible deniability. But the magma is going here from underneath that lava rock, that big huge plug of the volcano, hitting that plug like this all the time, just like this, causing these earthquakes. When the top of the sequence gets cut off, the bottom as well. 3.3, 3.5 earthquakes set. 3.3, 3.5 small earthquakes. And yes, we've actually seen 4.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here in Walnut, La Puente before. We've seen this kind of activity at Bombay Beach as well, down in the Imperial Valley. Okay? Seen before. Okay? Now, the next red line, guess what? We have more activity. But the green line before that is 5:50 a.m. this morning on the green line. We're also seeing the top of that seismic sequence being cut off. You can't see the bottom of it because the other earthquakes after that. This also is at least 3.3, 3.5 activity. Magnitude earthquakes. Earthquakes lasting a minute and a half to 2 minutes. How'd you guys like to be in an area where you're feeling the ground move? You might see your furniture moving along your floors. You're feeling the ground move beneath your feet for upwards of 2 minutes long. That's what we're seeing here, guys. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Right there. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Literally, this ground is moving all day long here. All morning into this afternoon is ongoing right now. Okay? Minor earthquakes. Yes, early this morning we did see some tremor activity, 1.1, 1.3, 1.4 tremors. But after that, it goes up to 3 points very easily. Small earthquakes and minor earthquakes here in La Puente and Walnut, California. It's a volcano, guys. It's a volcano in Los Angeles. And it is happening every day. This is not just once a week or once a day occurrence. It's happening all day long, every day. Just like this every day. Okay? Now, let's go over to Watts, East Los Angeles. Guess what, guys? Watts also is having tremors here as well. And minor earthquakes. Lots of minor earthquakes. Especially after 10:45 this morning. 10:52 a.m. this morning on green line. 2.93 points of earthquake here on the green line on the right-hand side. Then after 12 noon on the red line here, okay? This is 12:09, I'm sorry, not 12:09, 12:29 p.m. this afternoon. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake there on that red line. The top of that was cut off as well, but I don't think it was much more than 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. After that, we see 1300 hours, 1 p.m. on the next black line. Okay? On the left-hand side, 2 minutes after 1 o'clock, 1:02 p.m. this afternoon, we're seeing 1.7, 1.8, I'm not saying 1.8, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. Okay? After 1:02 p.m. this afternoon. And lots of other minor earthquakes here as well, and tremors. Okay? Watts, California. That's not a good area to be in. Gangs are flocking around Watts, California every day. I got caught in Watts one afternoon, and I went to a 7-Eleven store to buy something to drink. The clerk at that store told me to get out of town right now. He would not even serve me at all. Couldn't buy anything from him because I was a white boy. Said, get out of my store. You don't belong here. I said, all I'm trying to do is get something to drink and get some directions. He said, get out. So I left there and hurried out of Watts, Los Angeles. I never came back to Watts at all. Okay? That's what's going on here. Let's go south and east, Orange County this time. Orange County. Okay? I first want to show you Lake Elsinore. Lake Elsinore, guys. Lake Elsinore is a small lake there in Orange County. Small lake. Has no tributaries in or out of the lake. During the summertime, or even right now, it's called Lake Smellsmore, not Lake Elsinore, but Lake Smellsmore. Why? Because the lake water is contaminated with no outside water to get out, no water coming in, stagnant water. That's the reason it stinks. Here in Lake Elsinore, all you see are some tremors here. Then a small increase in tremors at 12:01 p.m. this afternoon on the left-hand side. That's it. 1.3 tremor here at 12:01 this afternoon. Lake Elsinore. About 15 miles north of Lake Elsinore. Something else happened. It's called Ivy Glen. 15 miles north of Lake Elsinore is a town called Ivy Glen, small town. Look at the difference in seismic activity. Why? Because just west of Ivy Glen, there is a bunch of magma down beneath the surface here. There's a bunch of magma down beneath the surface. The magma in those hills west of Ivy Glen here is heating up groundwater, filling natural spas here, natural hot tubs here. Here in Ivy Glen, the ground is moving. Magma is causing earthquakes here in Ivy Glen. Look what we're seeing here, guys. The top black line here, we're seeing tremors here. Upwards of 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. Then here on the next red line here, okay, this will be 5:22 a.m. this morning. 2.6 earthquake here. 2.6 earthquake. So already you're seeing minor tremors and some minor earthquakes here as well. Okay? Just after 5:48 a.m. this morning on the green line, here we're seeing a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here on the green line. Upper left side of the green line. Throughout this segment here, guys, we're seeing some minor earthquakes here. I don't think we've had a 3.0 earthquake here in Ivy Glen, but it's come close. It's come close to that one after 5:48 this morning. And again, this afternoon after 12:30. 12:36 this afternoon, guys. Another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake on the bottom blue line there. Okay? Maybe in 2.8, 2.9. It's a good sized quake. Then later at 12:43 on the right hand side, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Minor earthquakes here. Orange County, Ivy Glen. I'm not done, guys. I'm not done. There's a casino in Orange County called Pechanga Casino. Pechanga Casino. I've been in that casino twice. Only twice because my sister-in-law was working there. Here at Pechanga Casino, always seen here tremors. Nothing larger than a 1.5, 1.6 tremor here. But even here in Orange County, we've seen tremors here. Okay? Then we go over to San Jacinto Campus, Hemet, California. Here at Hemet, California, there's a small college campus there called San Jacinto Campus. Okay? San Jacinto Campus usually has some tremors and minor earthquakes. Today, all we see are tremors here. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 tremors. That's it. We usually have minor earthquakes here as well. Not today. I'm not done here, guys. Not done here. Let's go to San Diego County. Let's go to San Diego City, guys. Let's go to San Diego City to San Diego Gas and Electric headquarters in the north part of the city, Mission Valley. I'm sorry, that's not it. This is Scripps Institute in La Jolla. This is what we're seeing at Scripps Institute La Jolla, also north of San Diego City. Still San Diego, part of San Diego City, but this is north San Diego City here in La Jolla. Lots of tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes here in La Jolla. Mission Valley, though. This is San Diego Mission Control at San Diego Gas and Electric. Tremors here. Both in La Jolla and also here in Mission Valley. We're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes. La Jolla, down here in Mission Valley, just tremors. Powered by what? What's causing this activity, guys? The Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault comes out of Los Angeles, guys. The Newport and Gold Fault comes out of Los Angeles, goes out in LA Harbor, off the coast of LA. It hooks up with the Rose Canyon Fault, which runs down the coastline towards Encinitas, which is North San Diego County. Then the Rose Canyon Fault turns into San Diego County on land, follows the beach line, coastline, all the way down to San Diego City, and then it goes out into San Diego Harbor. But even here at San Diego Mission Control here at San Diego Gas and Electric, all we are seeing here on the Rose Canyon Fault are tremors here. San Diego City. San Diego City, guys. Now, let's go to Julian, East San Diego County. Julian here, we've seen a 5.0 earthquake a year and a half ago. Year and a half ago with us, here in Julian, we saw 5.1 actually earthquake. 5.1 earthquake. Here in Julian today, all we've seen are tremors here. That's all we've seen since that 5.1 earthquake hit. Or tremors here. Immediately after that earthquake, we saw some tremors and minor earthquakes. All we've seen now in Julian are tremors. That's it. Now, guys, now we're in the end of August. Tomorrow we begin August 1st. The end of August, first part of September is apple season here in Julian. I've talked about this before. If you get down to San Diego County, go over East County Julian. East County Julian, the temperatures are going to fall in early September, down in the 60s. You're going to be able to go to individual growers, to fields out here, to apple trees and pick your own apples. Also in the city of Julian here, go here and visit the city of Julian. Get lunch. Bed and breakfasts are here. Restaurants are here. You're going to get lunch and dinner and have hot apple pie and apple cider here in Julian, California. From the apples picked in Julian, California. Here in Julian, California, I always see some tremors here. Very light tremors here. I'm not quite done in San Diego. Then I'm going out to the Imperial Valley to the east. So hang in there with me. You're going to see a lot of earthquakes in just a minute. Okay? One more stop here in San Diego County. This time at the top of the mountains. The top of the mountains before we get to Imperial Valley. Okay? This is the Cuyamaca Mountains here. Cuyamaca High School here. There's a seismograph at Cuyamaca High School here. Yes, we're seeing some tremors here at the top of the mountain here. This is about 6,000, 7,000 feet high. Cuyamaca Mountain here. All we've seen are tremors here. Tremors here in the mountains that separate San Diego and the Imperial Valley. We're going down in the Imperial Valley right now. Look out, guys. You're going to see some earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley. Guerin, Cotton, Pick, and Teed. Guerin, Cotton, Pick, and Teed. Okay? First thing I want to show you now is Imperial County, the town of Imperial, California, right here. This today. Typically in the town of Imperial here, which is north of El Centro, we can see some 3.0 earthquakes, sometimes a little bit larger than that. All we're seeing here in the town of Imperial are tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes, maybe 2.0 earthquakes tops here. On the green line here, after 5:51 a.m. this morning on the green line, on the right-hand side, all that is 2.0, 2.1 earthquake here. After that, all we had was tremors here. Tremors here in the town of Imperial here. Again, here in Imperial, we can have some 3.0 earthquakes as well. Okay? Guess what we're going to see now? Guess what we're going to see now, guys? Let's take you down to El Centro. El Centro, guys. Look at this. Look at this. One of our own EMA family members lives here in El Centro. His name's Juanito. He and his family live here in El Centro. Here in El Centro, guys, we have 56 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes here in El Centro today. 56 of them. This is a lot of seismic activity here. Tons of seismic activity here. Tons of it. 56 3.0 earthquakes here today in El Centro. That is the most bigger earthquakes that we've seen here in El Centro since I started this 7.5 years ago. 7.5 years, guys. 56 3.0 earthquakes here today. Unreal. Unreal. This is a huge increase here in the Imperial Valley. I'm not quite done. I'm going to show you more earthquakes here. Okay? Over on the southwest side of the Salton Sea. On the southwest side of the Salton Sea here. I've never showed you this before because we've never had any activity here. I'm going to show you a place called Elmore's Ranch. Elmore's Ranch. Right here. Okay? You're seeing a little bit of elevated tremor activity here. A little bit of elevated tremor activity here. Elmore's Ranch. On the southwest side of the Salton Sea. This is northwest of Westmoreland, California. Westmoreland, California is on the southwest side of the Salton Sea. Up until this year, it had a seismograph here, and USGS and Caltech cut it off. We no longer can see seismic activity here in Westmoreland, but here in Elmore's Ranch, we have some tremor activity here. Okay? I'm not done. Guess what I'm going to show you now? Guess where I'm going now? I'm going to go west. I'm going to go east to Calipatria. Calipatria, guys, look at this. This is a USGS seismograph. The others are Caltech and USGS. This is a USGS seismograph. Look at all these earthquakes last night. Look at all these earthquakes last night. The seismograph here started just after 1:45 p.m. last night. Yes, you're seeing some tremor activity here. You're seeing some 2.3, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. Up on the right top side here. See that earthquake there? Okay. This earthquake just happened after about 3:14 last night. Okay. The width is about the width of a nickel here. And it's covered in red here. The computer shades earthquakes in red to get the seismologist's attention. This earthquake as it stands will be a 2.5 earthquake. This earthquake lasts about 5 to 10 seconds. I'm going to say even 5 to 7 seconds. Okay. The width of the earthquakes lasted 5 to 7 seconds here. Okay. All we're seeing here is a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. I don't think it's any larger than that, but a 2.6, 2.7 here today. Okay. But look what we're seeing as well. All kinds of tremors here, going up to a 2.7 earthquake here. A 2.7 earthquake here, guys. Right here on the right side here. This earthquake happened at about 8:56 p.m. last night. 8:56 p.m. last night. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake there. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. The same thing with this earthquake on the left center here. That earthquake happened after about 9:06, 9:07 last night. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake there. Look what else has happened here, okay? From 1:45 yesterday evening until midnight here, guys. Till midnight here, we may have had 40 earthquakes, a total of 40 seismic events. Tremors and minor earthquakes as well. About 40 seismic events. Now look, guys, I want to show you something else I've shown you before. Between 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening, in this case until about 3:30, 3:45 this morning, they turned the seismograph down. They turned the seismograph down so that we're not going to see a bunch of earthquakes here. They specifically turned it down so we don't see a bunch of earthquakes here. The seismic activity that we're seeing here this morning, late last night and this morning, is there because the seismic activity probably was a lot larger than they're showing it to be. The seismic activity that happened here last night and this morning was actually larger than it is showing here to be. Why is that? Because the seismic activity had to be larger to overcome the electronic downturn of the machine. The seismic activity had to be larger to overcome the electronic turndown of the seismologist. Yeah. What happened after 3:30 this morning? Look at this, guys. This is no joke. No joke at all. Between this morning and approximately 3:30 this afternoon, we had another 70 earthquakes here, meaning we had 100 earthquakes here, 100 earthquakes here at Calipatria, California. Calipatria, California, 100 earthquakes here. Now, guys, look at that thick seismic signal there on the right-hand side. Okay? That happened after about 7:30 this morning. Actually, about 8 a.m., just after 8 a.m. this morning. Okay? Out here. Okay? This would be 8:11 a.m. here. About 8:11 a.m. this morning. This seismic signal, look at the width of that time period. This seismic signal lasts over a minute. As it's cut off here, we're seeing this to be at least a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, meaning this is probably a 3.5 earthquake at least. At least a 3.5 earthquake here in Calpatria. Might have also been larger than that. But the seismologist cut off the top and the bottom sections, bottom sequences of the seismogram, so we don't want to see what's actually happened here. They know exactly how strong this earthquake was. We think it's probably 3.5 earthquake at least. Now, this is not the only earthquake sequence that we're going to see here today. I want to go north to the east side of the Salton Sea here. What I'm going to show you now is Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach here, guys. This is a seismogram that Caltech and USGS want us to see here. Again, the seismogram here on the left-hand side starts after 5 a.m. this morning on that black line. We're seeing at least 3.3 earthquake activity. This earthquake lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes long. 5-minute long earthquake. 4 minutes of that earthquake, it was at least a 3.5 earthquake, at least. This is probably a 4.0 earthquake here this morning. 4.0 moderate earthquake here this morning at Bombay Beach. On the next red line here. The green line here after 5:45 is coming up the red line here. You can see it. This is probably a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake on the red line. Okay? About 5:25, 5:28 a.m. this morning. 2.8, 2.9, maybe 3.0 earthquake here. Then at approximately 5:50 a.m. this morning on this green line here, we have another at least 3.5, 4.0 earthquake here. This segment sequence lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. 5-minute long earthquake. From tremor to 3.4, 3.5 earthquake to tremor activity again. 5 minutes worth of shaking, guys. 5 minutes worth of shaking. Okay? Yes, you're feeling the ground move. You're seeing your furniture move along the floors. That's what happens with this kind of activity here. Every day this happens here at Bombay Beach. Nobody lives here at Bombay Beach at all. They come to visit the Salton Sea here and play in the sand, that's all. You can't go in the water of the Salton Sea because it's too chemically contained. And because of that, you have to stay out of the water or you get burned from the chemicals in the water. But you can still play in the sand. A lot of people here live at Salton Sea during the summer here at Bombay Beach. They drive their SUVs. They drive their off-road campers here all the time. They camp here. I've seen it. They take their off-road equipment down here, run along the beach here. Yes, it looks like a beach, like any beach. But all this left here are dead fish here along the side of the shoreline. Dead fish skeletons here along the shoreline. Because the acid in the water ate the flesh of the fish. But look at the earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. That's normal. This is absolutely normal. Guys, this is the actual seismogram for USGS here at Bombay Beach. Again, we're still seeing these earthquakes here. All kinds of earthquakes, but this is 12 hours here. Beginning at 1:45 this morning, or I'm sorry, 1:45 yesterday afternoon, 1:45 yesterday afternoon, to 12:30 this afternoon. Almost 24 hours. Nearly 24 hours. Yes, you're seeing a bunch of tremors. You're also seeing a bunch of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. They're also showing these 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here as well. And possibly as much as 4.0 earthquakes as well. 4.0 moderate earthquakes here as well. Bombay Beach every day. Bombay Beach every day, guys. That's what we see. Now, I'm going to take this down here. This is just almost 24-hour period here. Look at all these earthquakes. All over. One more seismogram here in the Imperial Valley, and then I'll let you go. Okay? What I'm going to show you now is Holtville. Holtville, guys. There is a museum of sorts in Holtville called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. The Salton Sea Desert Research Station. Here at the seismogram here, we're seeing nothing but tremors here. And only one minor earthquake so far. One minor earthquake yesterday afternoon. Okay? About 5:50 p.m. yesterday afternoon. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake at 5:50 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Okay? 2.9, maybe 3.0 earthquake here. Holtville, California. Yes, they do get 3.0 earthquakes here. Not very often. Most of the time you see tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors 1.0, 1.9. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9 here. Holtville, California. Does anybody have any questions about what all we're seeing here in Southern California? As I said before, there is definitely a seismic increase in Southern California earthquakes. Definitely an increase in Southern California earthquakes here. All day long, 7 days a week. All day long, 7 days a week, guys. Every day. Every day. Now, before I leave you, I like when we talk about earthquakes, we talk about all kinds of other disasters happening around the globe. Water failures, people hacking on water, people doing all sorts of nasty to us, earthquakes, craziness going on. want to leave you with something more positive. As we've been talking about in my Sunday school classes on Sunday, my Come Follow Me classes on Sunday, we're in Chronicles, Kings and Chronicles. We finished reading 1st and 2nd Kings. Now we're finishing with 2nd Chronicles. Talk about King Hezekiah. King Hezekiah of Judah, preparing for the Passover. The closest thing I can think of to Passover is Easter. Easter. Minus Easter parades, minus egg hunting and everything else, egg coloring, egg hunting. Passover, Easter. Easter is a time of annual remembrance of the night God delivered Israel out of Egypt and began leading them as a free people to the promised land. Easter is also a time when the Jews killed Jesus Christ, laid him in a sepulchre, and he rose on the third day, giving us all the opportunity to be resurrected and living again with the Heavenly Father in heaven. But here in the Old Testament, the children of Israel were observing Passover. Okay? I remember through the night that God led and delivered Israel out of Egypt and began leading them to the promised land. Let's gather and build around remembrance. King Hezekiah decided to be the party planner. He wanted the estranged northern tribes of Israel to be part of it, part of the Israelite family. The 10 tribes have been divided for generations. But Hezekiah decided it was time for everybody to come together, kind of like an overdue family reunion. Unfortunately, guys, group texting had not been developed. Group texting had not been invented yet. So King Hezekiah sent messages from city to city with invites. Messengers from where Hezekiah lived, he sent people carrying invites to various other communities and tribes of Israel. Some people probably responded from the Old Testament equivalent of laughing emojis. Okay? If they had any Old Testament equivalent of laughing emojis, that's what they got. Other people humbled themselves and accepted and came to where King Hezekiah was. King Hezekiah could not control their response. His responsibility was simply to extend the invitation. When Jesus Christ began his ministry, some of his first words to his future disciples were not demands, that they improve themselves to him, or gave them judgments upon themselves and what they'd done. But instead, Jesus Christ put out an invitation for his disciples to join him. Peter and Andrew were asked, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." James and John, the sons of thunder, were called from their boat. Matthew was called from a tax booth. Jesus finds Philip and says, "Come follow me." Then Philip finds a skeptical Nathanael, who essentially says, "Nazareth? Are you sure anything good can come from there?" Philip doesn't argue. He repeats the invitation. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. Get a drink of water here. Philip repeats the invitation Jesus gave him, simply saying, "Come follow me, come and see." Sorry about that. My sinuses are driving me crazy. Philip tells Nathanael to come and see. So much of life tells us we must prove ourselves first with resumes, college degrees, social media views, and the list goes on. That's how I finally cleared up. But this time, Christ met these men where they were. And he didn't say, make yourselves fishers of men, then come find me. He said, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Jesus Christ taught contention is a choice. Peacemaking is also a choice. Peacemaking is not merely remaining silent or avoiding an argument. Ultimately, every Christ-like invitation should point beyond us. Every Christ-like invitation should point beyond us and towards Christ, as we read in the scriptures. Behold, he sendeth an invitation to all men. For the arms of many, the arms of mercy, are extended towards them. Then comes the invitation. Only then comes the invitation, guys. Then comes the invitation. Come unto me. This invitation has stuck with me over the years. A lot of years. Come unto me, all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest of your souls. Christ does not stand with these arms folded. You never see a picture of or a statue of Christ coming with these arms folded. Every painting, every picture you see, every statue you see, Christ has his arms put out like this. His arms are out to his sides, they're out in front of him. His arms are extended, always. Every step is an invitation for us to come to him. Every step we have an invitation to come to him. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I testify to you that Christ lives. His arms of mercy are still extended to us. I know that because I have felt his invitation through my own life, through ordinary people who are willing to make room for me, through ordinary people who are willing to make room for me. May we all use our words invite rather than wound. May we stop deciding no on behalf of other people. The Christ is still calling all of us, to everybody, to all the 10 tribes of Israel everywhere. Come back, come unto me, all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest to your souls. Above all, may each of us accept his invitation to follow me. I bear you my invitation to you. Follow Jesus Christ. Follow Jesus Christ. After the end of every program, we have a devotional. Try to have a devotional, except when we have a very bad storm, something I have to cut things off. But I extend the invitation to follow Jesus Christ to you. On Sundays, I teach a Sunday school class between 12 and 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. It's happening this Sunday as well. Tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m., we'll come back on the air and have another presentation of Emergency Management Associates. But between then and now, if something happens again, we'll be on the air back to you as soon as the information becomes available. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Be safe out there, guys. Be safe. Heidi Patrick is here in the chat saying, what is keeping the state from rattling itself apart? Simple thing is this. Simple thing is this. The reason California has not come apart is, I believe, is because the Savior doesn't want to destroy it quite yet. The San Andreas Fault, from way up north all the way down into Mexico, is primed and ready, especially in Southern California and also in San Francisco Bay Area. It's primed and ready. It's locked and loaded. It's going to pop. And when it pops, the entire state of California is going to pop as well, up and down. And then what's going to happen after that? The Cascadia earthquake is going to hit. It's going to completely wipe out the west coast of North America. Southwestern Canada, I'm even going to say Alaska, because the energy is going to go north into Alaska as well, and all the way down south into Mexico. Wipe the place out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. May God bless you guys. May God bless you. Running with Sister says, team rewatch. Absolutely, guys. If you have questions, go back and rewatch it. Or send me a question or comment after this program is over, right beneath the video today. YouTube will put up a comment section. Leave us a positive comment about what you think of this program, any questions you might have. Also, you can send us ideas and questions and things you want to see on our program to our email address, rltnspd@ema@gmail.com. You can also support us here on Venmo, or not Venmo, but our PayPal addresses. Here we have two PayPal addresses. You can send us payments of donations for us to our PayPal. We appreciate that very much to help keep this program in the air. Please send us donations to keep us on the air to our PayPal. You also see our postal address here, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You can send us letters and even cards. Inside your card or letter, you can stick a check or even cash, wrap it in that card or letter, send it to us. You can also send us donations that way. May God be with you this day as well. We appreciate you. May God be with you and bless you this day as well. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. God be with you until we meet again. See you on this side. Good night, everybody. Much love. Take care.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. Complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency management Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a